If you're just getting started using a joiner, there are a few common mistakes that can ruin good lumber. And I see beginners do this all the time. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to use a joiner properly and how to avoid all those mistakes. Before we get into using the joiner, let's talk about what a joiner does. But real quick, I do want to say that you do not have to have a nice joiner like this to learn the concepts that I'm going to teach today. 25 years ago when I got started, I had nothing like this. So just know that whatever you learn today will translate to whatever beginner tool that you have. At its core, a jointer flattens one face of a board and makes one edge straight and square with that face. This is really important when you're working with rough lumber, as it needs to be flat and a stable surface for further cuts or jointing two pieces together. The jointer is so important because it is step one in preparing rough lumber boards into usable pieces. The joiner has four main parts: the infeed table, the outfeed table, the fence, and the cutter head. The infeed table is where you feed the wood into the machine. It's the first contact point the wood makes before reaching the cutter head. The outfeed table supports the wood as it exits the machine and is a critical point in maintaining the straightness of the face or edge of the wood. The cutter head, this contains the rotating knives, in this case a helical cutter head with multiple knives that removes material to create a flat, smooth surface. And finally, the fence, this is used to clean up the edge of a board and must be set precisely at 90 degrees to the table to ensure a square edge. All of these parts in combination work together to give you a nice smooth surface and one straight edge. But before you begin to use this joiner, you want to make sure that it's set up properly. First, both tables should be flat. The infeed and outfeed tables should be aligned with each other. If they're not, the joiner will not work as intended. A simple way to check is by using a straight edge. Second, the cutter head knives must align with the outfeed table. This is one of the more critical setups on the jointer. To check this, place a straight edge over the knives and rotate the cutter head backwards. This will help you to determine whether the knives touch the straight edge, or if there's a gap, or if they're higher than the outfeed table. If you notice any misalignment here, adjust the outfeed table up or down as needed to correct it. I've already got mine perfect, which is having the knives just slightly scraping the straight edge. Each one of these adjustments may be slightly different depending on your machine, so I just encourage you to consult with your owner's manual to see how those adjustments are made. I do want to mention also that this method works for jointers that have an adjustable outfeed table. If yours does not, that means the adjustment needs to come from the blade. So either the blade needs to go up or the blade needs to go down to match the outfeed table. Now this method is completely different than what we're covering today, so I won't have time to get into the details, but I will encourage you to consult with your owner's manual to check out and learn how to do that. When joining a board, the infeed table will need to be slightly lower than the outfeed table in order to get the cutter head to remove material. The amount you should remove with each pass depends on the type of wood, the condition of the board, and the size of your joiner. As a general guideline, first, softwoods like pine or cedar, you can safely remove about a 1/16 of an inch per pass. Two hardwoods like oak, maple, or walnut, they're harder and denser woods. You can remove about a 1/32 of an inch per pass. Three, warp or twisted boards. Start with smaller cuts around a 1/32 of an inch or less. And number four, wide boards. If your board is approaching the joiner's maximum width, take lighter passes around a 1/64 of an inch to avoid overloading the cutter head or motor. When in doubt, use your ear to listen if the machine is struggling with the amount you're trying to push through it. When you're working with rough cut lumber, you most likely will have one convex side and one concave side. If you place the convex side down, the board will rock, making it harder to get a clean, straight edge. However, if you put the concave side down, this ensures the wood has more stability with more contact points with the table. When feeding your lumber through, it's important that your pressure transfers from the infeed to the outfeed side. Apply even force and push the wood through steadily. It's also really important that you don't apply too much downward pressure either. And this is probably one of the most common mistakes you can make. If you push too hard down, you won't remove the warp or twist in the wood. You'll just keep it the same. Your focus is on pushing the wood smoothly through with enough downward pressure to keep the wood in contact with the cutter head. That's it. If your board is very rough or has a lot of bowing, make a few lighter passes rather than trying to remove too much at once. If you're dealing with a board that has a combination of both concave and convex, you might have to adjust your technique a little bit. So maybe flipping the board end for end, or maybe starting with the other side. One of the trickiest parts about jointing wood is understanding the grain direction, or determining the grain direction. And one of the simplest ways to do that is to look at the cut. If you're seeing a lot of wood fibers tearing, which is producing a rough cut, that means you may be cutting against the grain direction. If this happens, simply reverse the feed direction and go with the grain for a smoother, cleaner cut. The grain should generally slope downward towards the tail of the board, not upwards. And you can see that on this board as I highlight the grain direction. After you've run the face of the board through a few times and you're happy with your results, you can then place that face against the fence to edge joint the board. The same principle applies regarding concave and convex shapes as well as grain direction. After a few passes, run your hand along the edge to check for smoothness. Use a square to check for the 90-degree angle on your edge. If it's not, then you know your fence needs adjusted to get that to be perfect. If the edge is still rough or there are some high spots or low spots, make a few more passes until you're satisfied with the results. I do want to note that this machine is an advanced machine, and most beginner woodworkers will not be purchasing something this nice. However, everything that you just learned in this video will apply to most other joiners, including small benchtop joiners. If you're wondering what are the benefits to a joiner this big, it's threefold. First is table length. The long infeed and outfeed tables make it much easier to joint longer boards accurately. Number two is the extra width. The width capacity, 8 inches in this case, allows you to flatten larger boards, which is incredibly helpful. And number three is power. Of course, as you advance in woodworking, you'll likely be working with larger, wider, and heavier boards, and a more powerful jointer like this one can handle those with ease. That said, for beginners, any joiner would be beneficial, even a benchtop one. Before we end for the day, I do want to cover quickly just some maintenance and safety tips. To keep your jointer running smoothly, follow these maintenance tips. First, keep your jointer clean. Cleaning out sawdust around the cutter head and the table regularly helps to prevent buildup, which can affect the performance of your machine. Two is wax your tables. Apply a paste wax or other treatments, there's many out there, to help reduce friction. This helps the wood slide smoothly through the jointer and reduces the chance of snags or uneven cuts. And lastly, just maintain the knives. If your knives start to dull, they're going to leave a rough cut and maybe some burn marks on the wood. Replace them to maintain the quality of your cuts. A sharp knife will give you the best performance and prevent any damage to your wood. Lastly, here are a few safety tips to keep in mind. Never try to adjust the table while the machine is still running. And keep your hands away from the cutter head at all times. This sounds super basic, but with certain boards, you can quickly find that your hands are in areas that are not safe. Always use push blocks and or a push stick. Well, thanks for sticking to the end. Before you go, I do want to offer you a few things and ask something from you. The first is I want to offer you my free community. I have an online community that helps beginner woodworkers and carpenters. It's a fantastic place for us to just gather newbies and intermediate people to share. You can ask me questions, and we have live Zoom calls as well, so I can answer questions about your project. Community is where it's at, and if you want to learn new skills and to be a part of a community, then check out the link below. I also ask that you please just leave a comment and give a thumbs up. It really helps to build the channel up and get back onto the algorithm's radar, if you will. So thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. I hope this video has helped you out tremendously. Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.